The planet of love comes together with the planet of good luck between Saturday, August 9th and Thursday, August 14th, inspiring true romance, magnetic beauty, and incredible abundance. This is one transit of the month you don't want to miss. Let's take a closer look. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, predictive astrocartography, and electional astrology. If you enjoy my work, please leave me a like, a comment, subscribe, and press the notification bell. Watch more of my videos or say thank you by buying me a tea, a coffee, a little present to show your appreciation that way. Before we dive in, my Natal Astrology Blueprint of the Soul course begins in September. I poured a lot of love, attention, and knowledge into it, and I think it will benefit each and every one of you, especially those interested in self-development and self-growth. So sign up, register on my website. It's going to take 3 months, and we will learn how to read natal charts and become more aligned with ourselves and aligned with people around us, because I find understanding yourself improves your connections with other people too, because first you have to know thyself. Register on my website. On there you can also book a personal consultation. I currently have availability in September. You can book a reading. Natal chart is really good for general analysis. I have predictive readings such as year ahead or solar return. Solar return is best done a month or so before and after around your birthday. There are relationship consultations, electional, astrocartography, other kinds of astrology, a few durations, something that can work for everyone. Additionally, in the candle shop section, you can find my candles and oils that I create. Since we are talking about the luckiest transit of the month, I'd like to highlight my Jupiter Cazimi candle, which was created in late June when the Sun and Jupiter came together in the sign of exaltation of Jupiter for the first time in over 20 years. This is deeply magical, and it can increase your good luck, confidence, growth, bring abundance into your life, and help you manifest your desires. This one smells like ocean breeze. And I also, a couple of days after that, I created lunar Jupiter candles. They still capture the lucky Jupiter, but also there is a moon in Cancer, so it's a double energy of the moon in rulership and Jupiter in Cancer. This one smells like maple walnut pancake. So both are really great for good luck and abundance, but maybe lunar Jupiter is a little bit better for people with their moon in water or earth signs, and Jupiter Cazimi, because it has the moon in Gemini, might be best for air and fire moon signs. So thank you for listening. Let's talk about this magical and exciting transit. Like I said, it's active from Saturday, August 9th until Thursday, August 14th, with the exact moment of the perfect conjunction at 1:29 a.m. Eastern time zone on Tuesday, August 12th. So generally 3 days before, 3 days after. The conjunction occurs at 14 degrees 3 minutes Cancer, meaning that it is the luckiest for you if you have a planet smack in the middle, 14 degrees, right? Or 3 degrees before, 3 degrees after, which will be 11 to 17 degrees cardinal signs: Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and Aries. Those four can benefit the most. Additionally, I would extend it to Virgo, Taurus, because there's a sextile to those signs as well, and Scorpio and Pisces, because those are in a trine to it. So if you have planets between 11, 17 degrees of those signs that I mentioned, you are in extra good luck. But if you don't, you're still in luck, because it's a once a year transit. It's even more rare if we're looking at Venus. Venus likes water signs, Venus likes earth signs, and Jupiter really likes Cancer. So there is a lot of happiness, a lot of fertility, right? Very fertile energy for planting seeds of new beginnings and patiently working towards growing things that you're working on. Cancer is the sign of nurturance. Cancer is the sign of motherhood, and it doesn't have to mean motherhood in a traditional sense, but it is about taking time, right? A lot of things that are worth having take time, and Cancer is not afraid to put the effort, to put the energy, to put the time in. So a little bit about Venus. Venus is the planet of connection. It's the cosmic glue that holds everything together. It's the planet of attraction. It is considered to be the lesser benefic. Jupiter is the planet of good luck and growth and optimism. It's more about spiritual joy. That's why it is known as the greater benefic. So not only we have this lovely conjunction, but we have two benefics coming together. It's not all unicorns and rainbows, because simultaneously we have Mars-Saturn opposition, or Mars and Mars-Neptune opposition separating. So if you have planets at the very early degrees of cardinal signs, which will again be Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, and Aries, there may be some challenge in a certain area of your chart, while simultaneously some good luck in the other area of your chart. I do have a video on Mars, Saturn, and Mars, Neptune opposition, so do check it out to be more prepared. Some of the benefits we may see, like I said, fertility, so growth of the home, of the family, of the real estate, of the child, birth of a child, creative growth, right, of a creative project, whatever you feel passionately connected to and inspired to work on. There could be bonuses and financial rewards, especially for Gemini risings, with a conjunction happening in the second house. The growth of love, the growth of your bank account, inner and outer harmony, a lot of joy with friendships, with associations, especially for Virgo risings. If you have this conjunction in your 11th house, it is great for relationships of all kinds, romantic and business, because you benefit from mutual supportiveness and attention and joy. So what not to like, right? This is really magical and amazing. So let's take a look at the 12 rising signs. Before we do, pick up a candle, Jupiter Cazimi or Juno Lunar Jupiter. Both are very lucky and abundant. And do register for my natal astrology course. You don't want to miss it, because it's a unique opportunity to boost your knowledge of astrology and to get in touch with yourself, to get closer to you, the person that is with you everywhere, anywhere, no matter the hardship or the good luck. You can also book a reading on my website. So let's look at Aries rising. Venus and Jupiter come together in your 4th house, the domain of home, family, real estate, and living situation. Good luck in that sector. You're looking for a home, you find a perfect place. You're looking for a contractor, you find a contractor that can make your dreams about expanding your home come true. You've been trying to get pregnant, you get pregnant, right? Of course, all the medical conditions considering, like it's not going to make something happen if there is other things that contradict it. Like if you're single and you're like, Anastasia said I might get pregnant, you're probably not going to get pregnant, right? If that's what you want. Growth of the family, better relationships in the family. If there is any disconnect, any difficulty with family members, there might be softening of that, coming together, forgiveness, healing family karma as well. Venus rules your 2nd house of money and values and 7th house of partnerships, and Jupiter rules your 9th house of education, travel, publishing, legal matters, in your 12th house of faraway lands, foreign places, mental health, spirituality, imagination. So this is interesting, right? You can see blessings financially, maybe enough to buy a home, enough to move in with your partner or travel, go far away. Maybe you're investing into something you've always wanted to invest into, and growing through that. So highly fun, highly beneficial. Do share how this resonates. And for more, register for my natal astrology course. It's less than a month away, and book a personal reading on my website. If you are a Taurus rising, Venus conjoins Jupiter in your 3rd house, bringing good luck to your business, to your commuting, car, right? Winning a car in a lottery, getting a really good deal on a car, communication projects, blogs, skills, exams, all of that might get rewarded somehow. Like let's say you started a business and you're seeing an influx of people and exciting developments. There might be more focus on spending time with siblings and feeling maybe a restart of a connection if there was any sense of disconnection. Maybe starting a partnership, right? Starting a project that involves communication, writing. It's definitely a good time to birth something, bring something forward. Venus rules you, so it's your chart ruler coming together with Jupiter, the ruler of your 8th house of partners' money, partners' finances, loans, debts, taxes, and 11th house of hopes and dreams. Venus also rules your 6th house of work, health, and service. I wonder if you're like getting a fixer-upper, right? Or you're investing into a car that is a fixer-upper. There may be some kind of sense of like, with Jupiter in the 8th, getting a loan, following new dreams, taking your passions to the next level. Please share how this resonates. And if you're seeking more, book a reading or register for my course. It begins in September. If you are a Gemini rising, Venus comes together with Jupiter in your house of money and values. So more than anyone else, this could be financially lucrative for you. There could be a bonus, a return on investment, an inheritance, a gift of some sorts coming through. Please share if that's what it is. Maybe you're feeling rewarded. Maybe you're feeling recognized for the work that you've done, or you're getting ready to invest into something. Invest into a business, invest into a career pursuit with Jupiter ruling your 7th and 10th houses. There could also be a positive development in regards to children because Venus rules your 5th house. So maybe you're deciding to become a kid's teacher or you're getting pregnant potentially. I just feel like this transit is so potent in terms of growing things. And it doesn't have to be a literal pregnancy, but there could be some kind of inspiration that is coming your way. And also a really strong boost in confidence and self-worth. For more, book a reading on my website, register for my course, and really enjoy this transit. I hope it brings a lot of fun your way. For Cancer rising, Venus conjoins Jupiter in the 1st house. How lovely. 2 benefics. Venus ruling your 4th house of home and family, your house of hopes and dreams and networks and friendships, and Jupiter ruling your 6th house of health and work and 9th house of education, expansion, travel, right? Could you be moving? Could you be welcoming people into your home, hosting an event, maybe growing your network somehow? Venus and Jupiter in the 1st house really want you to be both warm and generous and loving and a source of comfort to other people, but also a teacher and a guide for them with Jupiter. So it's a lovely boost to your confidence, to your self-worth, and this will be deeply personal because first house is very personal. So whatever you are focusing on, whatever you're dreaming about and you're setting your sights towards, can manifest, especially, like I said, if it involves moving, property, home, maybe even your hometown, your connections, your friendships, your role in the world. Come study astrology with me and become an astrologer guiding other people towards their purpose. My course begins in September and you can register on my website. You can also book a personal reading on there. For the lovely Leo rising, Venus conjoins Jupiter in the 12th house. And good luck is growing in your private sector, in your house of spirituality. So discovering an increased love for astrology. I can't tell you how many people come to me when they're having Jupiter transit through their 12th house. Suddenly they're like, there's more to it. I want to know it all. Speaking of knowing it all, I am teaching a course in a month, less than a month. So it's a really great time to sign up. But there's some kind of sense of spiritual growth. Going on a trip, right? Going to an ashram, going to India, going on some kind of quest, spiritual destination. Maybe you don't travel far. Venus rules your 3rd house of short trips. Maybe it's like a shorter journey to a local Buddhist temple. So increasing awareness about your spiritual self. There may be breakthroughs in therapy, healing a wound that's been tarnishing your joy, right? For sure, it can be like a deep release, and the happiness that comes from that. Getting away, as mentioned, embracing a spiritual interest and turning it into a career, with Venus ruling both the 3rd and the 10th, 3rd being skills and interest, 10th being career, and Jupiter ruling your 5th house of pleasure and 8th house of other people's resources. And also healing. So through communication, through addressing darkness, maybe healing and discovering what truly makes you happy. Please share and register for my course or book a personal reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. If you are a Virgo rising, Venus conjoins Jupiter in the 11th. This is really lovely. Jupiter is in its joy in your 11th house for the next year, a little under. It blesses you with connections, associations. Venus rules also your 2nd house and 9th house. So maybe you're working on getting an investment, getting like an associate, someone who can give you an investment, right? Or you're working on starting a career as a therapist or as a teacher, as a lawyer, whatever it might be. You benefit through people you know at this point, which could be lovely for starting a social media account. So because you're more attractive at this time, people see you as a wise Jupiter and beautiful character. So you can experience good luck on social media. You can experience good news from friendships, development of projects and relationships around, finance, getting some kind of bonus even potentially, education, travel. Jupiter rules your 4th house of home, family, real estate, and 7th house of business and partnerships. So maybe some type of dream that involves working from home, or that involves moving and actually making more money and being able to travel. Depends. Let me know how this resonates. There's definitely lots and lots of possibilities. And dear Virgo rising, I know you're interested in astrology and you can become a perfect astrologer. For that, join my natal astrology course. It begins in September, and in 3 months you will learn how to read charts and give advice to yourself and to other people. Register on my website. If you are a beautiful Libra rising, Venus conjoins Jupiter in your 10th house of career, status, and reputation. Positive developments all around. A reward, a bonus, recognition, a sense of accomplishment, right? We have Mars opposite Saturn at the same time, creating stress in your relationships. But this is like I've heard Austin Kopach in the astrology podcast describe it as more than, I think he said more than worthy, more than enough, more than enough of a consolation prize. It's basically like you get this really exciting consolation prize that is more than enough to make up for all the stress that you've been through with the Mars-Saturn opposition. So financial rewards, growth of your business, growth of your career, a new job, a raise, right? Professional opportunities that involve perhaps travel or writing. Financially, this can definitely be beneficial because Venus rules your 1st house of self and 8th house of other people's money. So it's like other people are investing into you, and Jupiter rules your 3rd house of communication skills, business, and your 6th house of work. So hard work is paying off. Use this transit for something good. Do use it for reaching out to people in your network, promoting your work, asking for support, shouting from the rooftops about your upcoming astrological course. Speaking of which, you can register on my website and you can also book a reading on there. And do tell me how this resonates and what you're planning to use this transit for. For the beautiful Scorpio rising, Venus conjoins Jupiter in the 9th. And here you see a desire for adventure and benefits that come from education, signing up for a new class, maybe even getting some kind of scholarship, right? Opportunity to go back to school at a good rate or go to school if this is your first time around. Traveling, going on exciting trips. Venus rules your 12th house of faraway journeys, of ashrams and hospitals and sort of, kind of distant places. Don't worry about hospitals, but it is isolated places usually. So going on a trip somewhere far away, maybe even going to study somewhere far away. Romantically, because Venus rules your 7th house of relationships and Jupiter rules your 5th house of sex and pleasure. Maybe you're traveling and you meet someone, a foreign fling that turns into something more. So really great time for adventures of all kinds. You don't have to leave your house for them, but opening yourself up to new knowledge, new connections, new experiences is a must here. And if this transit is encouraging you to explore astrology, you can register for my course. It begins in September. In 3 months, we will learn to read natal charts and use the ancient knowledge of astrology for ourselves and for others. Whether you want to read charts for other people or you want to improve your relationships, that doesn't really matter. Register on my website, and you can also book a personal reading on there. If you are a Sagittarius rising, Venus conjoins your lovely chart ruler Jupiter in the 8th house. This is a financially really rewarding transit. It could suggest that money is coming your way as a bonus, as a return on investment, as an inheritance. There might be your partner's finances might improve. They might get a bonus or an inheritance and share with you, right? This is often, 8th house transits often are seen through our significant other or people who are like our partners, our spouses, right? Could be your mom or could be your business associate benefiting, and somehow you benefit as well. Getting a debt forgiven, student loan forgiveness, right? I can see as well. And then 8th house is about healing and death and rebirth. So maybe letting go of some wound of the pain you've been carrying, and even potentially using that experience to now help and heal other people. Venus rules your 6th house of work and service to others, and 11th house of hopes, dreams, and social networks. And Jupiter rules your 1st house of self and 4th house of home, family, and living situation. So maybe you're paying off a debt, like a mortgage, you're able to pay off faster than you expected. Maybe you're committing to being a healer. Maybe there's a new dream that involves your relationships and more vulnerability and closeness, and even potentially moving. I'd love to hear what this is and how this resonates. And if you're seeking more, book a reading on my website or register for my natal astrology course. If you are a Capricorn rising, Venus conjoins Jupiter in your 7th house, the domain of significant one-on-one partnerships. So a conception of a new chapter in a relationship, right? Business relationship, business association, contract, even a new beginning in your, like signing a different lease or getting a really beneficial lease. And this could be a start of something new. If you're single, maybe you're meeting someone, starting a new relationship. A relationship that begins under this transit is bound to be really beneficial and really joyful and pleasant for all the parties involved. So any kind of relationship, do not hesitate to likely agree and say yes to it. But if you are in a significant relationship, this could be a chance to move in together. This could be an engagement, a pregnancy, even a birth of a child, some kind of important development. And in a business as well. Venus rules your 5th house of children, pleasure, romance, and 10th house of career, status, reputation. Jupiter rules your 3rd house of skills, hobbies, writing, and 12th house of imagination, spirituality, mental health. So that's where you may see the benefits, right? So romantic, parenthood, career developments, taking your skills to the next level, finding finding a partner or finding like a patron of some sort, someone who is very loving and generous with you. Do share how this resonates. And if you're seeking more guidance, pick up a candle or register for my natal astrology course on my website. For the beautiful Aquarius rising, Venus conjoins Jupiter in your 6th house, the house of work, health, and service. Traditionally the house of blood, sweat, and tears. So a recognition for your hard work, right? Maybe a bonus, maybe some kind of financial reward with Jupiter ruling your 2nd house of money. Maybe realizing that you've spent all this time working on something and now you actually want to turn it into a business and maybe go full time with it. Let's say you volunteered somewhere and you're like, I really enjoy it. What if I start my own kind of nonprofit organization or something like that? Jupiter rules your house of hopes and dreams. So committing to a long-term project, committing to work that involves healing, guiding, mentoring, teaching others. It could also be with Venus ruling your 4th and the 9th, Jupiter 2nd, 11th, maybe like you're working on a project that either involves studying or involves moving, or even like a home improvement project, something that you've poured a lot of love and attention into. Maybe you've been battling it out with your HOA, right? I hear a lot of people these days are dealing with frustrating HOA, housing owners association, right? I think. So either a good result of a lot of effort that you put into something, or a new beginning that comes out of maybe some work that you've done where you decide to now commit to studying health, nutrition, even being a veterinarian, because 6th house rules pets, or you get a pet, right? If you're looking for more, if you are ready to study astrology, register for my natal astrology course. It begins in September, and you can register on my website. You can also book a reading on there. Last but not least, the beautiful Pisces rising, Venus and Jupiter come together in your 5th house of romance, pleasure, parenthood, creativity, and children. And Jupiter is your chart ruler, right? It's your big daddy. Jupiter rules you, and it rules your 10th house of career. And Venus rules your 3rd house of communication, skills, business, and your 8th house of mysteries, death and rebirth, shared finances. So this could be really creative. This could be you coming up with an idea and writing a book, or maybe selling a book, finding a supporter of your work. 5th house is another one of those. It's really, really personal, because the definition of joy is different for all of us, right? For some, it might be starting a family, having a child, or beginning a great relationship. For someone else, it may be about having freedom to travel, right? And not be attached to anything or anyone. So whatever it is you're dreaming about creatively, when it comes to pleasure, when it comes to joy, when it comes to your self-expression, because 5th house is this ability to be truly yourself and be like very childlike when you don't care what people think and you're just enjoying life, there is a high chance of that coming true. And romantically, for sure, meeting someone, making a baby with someone, creatively starting a new project, completing a project, selling a project, right? Like selling a book, for example. All of that is quite possible. And maybe something great is happening in the life of your child. If you have adult children, this might also benefit them. Do share what you think this means for you, Pisces risings. And for more, book a reading on my website and register for my natal astrology course. It's less than a month away, and we will learn a lot about astrology and how to read charts and how to live a more empowered life. Register on my website. And thank you for watching. I hope this transit brings a lot of goodness your way. I hope you enjoy it and grow from it and take the most advantage from it. If you don't do anything, it's likely going to be a couple of days that are really fun and easy and joyful. But try to do something, plant some kind of seed, and do report back if it comes true. I'll talk to you soon.